Antietam symbolizes something even more important than combat heroism and military strategy. It marks a diplomatic turning point of worldwide consequence. From this point onward, our Civil War had a new dimension which was important to the whole course of human liberty. John F.
It's 10:30 a.m. and
we're here!
There was an appalling confusion of shattering sound, an unending chaos of violence and heat, intense combat with fields and quick.
we just watched a movie about Antietam and we learned a lot of fun new facts. This is the hand-sewn flag that George McClellan carried during the war.
This is a sewing kit, a pocket knife, a tin cup, a little bag, a pocketbook, a game like dominoes, and canteens, and these soldiers carried them throughout the war.
So this is George Hooker, and he, even though he was wounded, he was a great leader, and he alone on horseback advanced into the Confederate lines and single-handedly captured more than 100 Southern soldiers and a Confederate battle flag. And there he is. This is a map of Antietam battlefield in 1802. And we are here. We are leaving the visitor center and we're about to go on a self-guided tour, driving tour, 8.5 miles, which is good because we did not want to walk 8.5 miles. But first, outside the visitor center, there's a nice cannon. Boom. Hour 2 and we were already facing problems because Catherine and I don't know how to read a map, only a GPS. So let's hope we don't get lost in Antietam.
This is Dunkard Church. It became a focal point in the morning battles up here at Antietam.
We are at Joseph Poffenberger's farms, and Union General Joseph Hooker and his men spent the night here before the battle. And at first light, the Union attack advanced south from here towards Jackson's lines. During the Battle of Antietam, Clara Barton brought supplies and nursing aid to the wounded on this battlefield. This act of love and mercy led to the birth of the present American National Red Cross.
You go, Clara, you go. At this cornfield, some of U.S. history's most horrific fighting was done. There was 60% casualty rate in 30 minutes, and there were the most casualties here during the Antietam battle.
This is the West Woods where Edwin Sumner's Union soldiers arrived at 9:30 a.m. The combined firepower of the Confederate artillery and attacking infantry drove them back, and in 20 minutes, over 2,200 Union soldiers were killed or wounded here. After taking the lower brigade, Burnside moved his troops from east to west across these fields, pushing back the Confederate right flank. But just when it looked like Lee's line was breaking, a Confederate general's division arrived from Harper's Ferry to drive Burnside back to Antietam Creek. So this is called Sunken Road, also known as Bloody Lane. And for about 3 hours, 2,200 Confederates held off attacks of a combined Union force numbering nearly 10,000 people. But finally they collapsed and fell back several hundred yards to the Piper Farm. The Union attackers had suffered too many casualties to pursue their advantage, so they turned around. And this road was covered with dead bodies of soldiers, so that's why it's called Bloody Lane, because it was just completely covered by dead bodies. Seeing the dead in the road, an observer wrote, "They were lying in rows like the ties of a railroad, in heaps like cordwood, mingled with the splintered and shattered fence rails." Words are inadequate to portray the scene.
Antietam was the single bloodiest day in American history. 23,000 wounded and killed during this battle. The officers decided to make a truce and end the battle to bury the dead soldiers.